Ciao. All right, so we are walking to the riverside from where my hotel is. About a 35-minute walk. I think that is where I'm going to move over to. Wait 1 second. Once I'm done at this hotel I'm at now. Anyways, in this video, we're going to talk about Cambodia and is it the place to come to right now? Is it still Thailand better? Or the pros and cons and differences between the two? From what I told, I met a few people that just came over from Bangkok to Cambodia, and just to not clickbait, immediately the general consensus is Cambodia is better and cheaper than the current state of Thailand right now. So that gets to the quick answer of the question. They all are enjoying it more here. Hello. Enjoying it more here than they were in Bangkok. And they all said the same stuff. Bangkok's just not where it used to be still. There's still a lot of rules, regulations, red tape. Stuff's more expensive than usual in Bangkok. They're also saying inflation, you know, they're trying to recover from being closed. Here, everything's pretty cheap. I mean, a beer's $1. It's like 5 to 10% more expensive than Vietnam across the board, but it's a lot like Vietnam. And most people that are coming here are waiting to get into Vietnam, or they're going to go to the Philippines because the Philippines is open now as well. So if it was me and I wanted to get out of America and I wanted to come to Southeast Asia and start my life, I would start my first chapter in Cambodia, no problem. You're gonna have zero problems having fun in Cambodia and kind of getting that Vietnam feel. I mean, you can go to Thailand too, but you know, there's no quarantine here, guys. You have to understand. One of the guys was complaining about the paperwork and said it was crazy. I'm like, really? I didn't think it was a big deal at all. He was a white guy. I'm like, I didn't think it was a big deal in any kind of way, you know? Just had to get a PCR test before I left. Get some copies of your vaccine. I didn't see the inconvenience in it. Sure, it's an extra little step, but I had zero quarantine when I got here. Took a PCR, or not a PCR, a quick rapid test upon arrival. Waited 12 minutes for the results. Everybody tested negative. Boom, we were out and running. And, you know, there's been no issues since. I've had a great time. It's been fun going out every night. We went to the Cambodian Tobacco Club last night, and that was cool. There's lots of cool stuff compared to Vietnam too. So like, you could definitely do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months here without a problem, in my opinion. I would just stay at like a cheap hostel, one that's like $12 a night. You get your own room, something like that, because you're going to be out all the time here, especially your first 3 or 4 months, just like you would be in Vietnam. And drink cheap, don't eat expensive food, and you can make your money last. The one person was telling me they spent so much money in Thailand because it's a bit more expensive. Now, I haven't been back to Thailand in a long time, so I can't vouch on its prices. But I can vouch that things are not as open as it seems, and that Bangkok itself is a little slow right now. And they do kind of close early, and there's some real weird rules and restrictions going on still. And that's because I have a buddy that's been there for 2 or 3 months, so I think Cambodia is a completely viable choice for you. All I've had is nothing but good times. People are just as nice as Vietnamese people. Prices for stuff aren't that bad. Sure, a cocktail's a little expensive, like $4 to $5. Is what it is. I found a place yesterday that we'll film tonight where you could get double shots of vodka and soda for $5. So it's a pretty healthy way. I have about 4 or 5 beers a day. Then I switch over to cocktails at night. So I think, like, you know, if you're really wanting to go somewhere and you don't want to be inconvenienced with quarantine and a bunch of rules, like, everyone does wear their mask here. I don't know if it's mandated, but it's just like Vietnam. Like, everybody just wears it. The only people that don't are expats, which is no big deal, whatever. It's their priority, I don't care. So I wear mine just because I'm so used to it. It's not an inconvenience to me, and, you know, it's what everybody else is doing. You kind of just go with the flow. But if you don't want to wear your mask, I don't think you have to. So, you know, go for it. You know, there's a lot of women here, just like in Vietnam. It's much more like Vietnam than Thailand, but it's like Thailand and Vietnam had a child, and that child became Cambodia, pretty much. Man, I just had steak for dinner, like a little pieces of steak skewer, and I'm supposed to get my teeth implants, the mold for the teeth, when I get back, and one of the implants came loose on the steak. So now I've got to find a dentist here tomorrow to re-screw it back in or whatever. I'm not going to mess with it. It didn't come completely out, but these are the things. That's why I hate doing dental work, like in shit like this. Like, is this going to happen when the actual tooth is in? Time will tell. I mean, the dentist is great. I thought she did a good job. If you still haven't seen that video yet, I'll eventually post it once everything's done, so I can verify that, you know, it's good work. Medical. I wonder what they're doing. PCR test, probably. Yeah, I see a bunch of white guys. A PCR test to leave. You need a PCR test to fly out of Cambodia and to get in, by the way. That's what I'd say is the only inconvenience. Now, you can get a PCR test if you're in Vietnam for $500K. They were all just closed for Tet, so I had to get a more expensive one. What can you do? Can't win them all. But so far, I mean, I love Cambodia. I've got really nothing too bad to say about it. It's extremely similar to Vietnam, so if you need a Vietnam itch and you've never really explored Cambodia and just done like visa runs like I used to, then yeah. And people are asking me why I'm here. I'm here for you guys. So you can make an educated decision if you want to come here or not, and see like what it really looks like. Not to do a visa run or anything. I have a TRC, so like that was a constantly checked thing to make sure I could get back into Vietnam. Like the airline kept making sure that everything was legit with the TRC and stuff, to make sure I could get back in. And they assured me, yeah, you're gonna get back in, no problem. And there's no longer a quarantine for a TRC holder, so you can just come back in, test negative, you've got your 3 vaccines, you're good to go. Now, what happens in Vietnam if you only have 2 vaccine injections? After 4 months, it becomes, you go blue in the app and you're not in the green, which I don't know what that really means, because a lot of places are not checking the app anymore. But then some are. Like, you couldn't go into Win Way for the flower festival during Tet without the PC COVID vaccine checking. Now, some people are like, you can get into Vietnam without a vaccine. You're not going to be able to do much, guys. Like, you can't go anywhere. You know, any other city you go to besides Saigon, once you're inside of it, all require that, you know, vax thing. And I still have not met one person that's got in to Vietnam without a vaccine. I don't think they're just keen on approving the paperwork for that. And then I do believe even if you did and you maybe could get into somewhere, you would have to take a rapid test every 3 days. Like, it would be a total pain in the ass. Like, Asia as a whole is not gonna be into your no-vax ways. Like, choose a different land, because that shit ain't gonna fly in Asia. Like, everyone's proud to have their injections in these countries. They're like, when's the next one? That's the Vietnamese mindset on it, 100%. They're like, okay, when's the next jab? So we're taking a little bit of different walk than what we did to go to his hostel yesterday. But as far as pricing goes, you can get away with finding something as cheap for as $8 a night if you stay at like a bunk bed hostel, all the way up to like $60 a night for a really nice hotel. So anywhere in between there is what I plan for daily accommodations. And then as far as money-wise goes, depending on how much you're drinking and doing stuff, you know, food can be $5 to $15 a day. Alcohol could be $5 to $50 a day, depending on what you do. And then the ganj, it's like $20 for a top end joint. of Cambodian tobacco. So if you're into that thing, it's really easy to get. There's places you can just walk in and get it. So it's a little bit less rules than Vietnam. It's kind of like the wild, wild west of Asia traveling here. Like how Thailand used to be back in the day, and how Vietnam was back in the day. So I think it would be good to put it on your list of, hey, I lived in Cambodia for 2 or 3 months and had a really good time there. And you know, I'm happy I'm here. I'm happy I took the chance to come here. And I'm happy to provide new content from a new country for you guys. And then eventually what we're gonna do is go to the Philippines. After I get home, make some videos back in Saigon, you know, make sure the revenue's right, save up for that, and pay my bills there. Then we can go over to the Philippines. More than likely what's gonna happen in the Philippines is gonna be like a cheap Charlie type thing. I'm gonna be staying at, you know, $5 to $15 hotels every night. Nothing fancy. Like here, my last 2 days at like a $40 hotel a night. After that, I'm going 20 or lower. I don't care. I'm typically out the whole day. I go to the gym, I swim. So as long as it has a pool, and I can just find a gym somewhere for, you know, $5 to $10 a day, fine. I just go there and sleep and edit in the morning. So I don't need anything beautiful. I just kind of wanted to show what a topper tier hotels look like here, the more expensive ones. And there's way more expensive ones like on this riverside, but we won't be staying at those. It's such a poor investment, especially if you're not with, you know, like your loved one or your girlfriend or something, because you're not going to use, like, I mean, I might take a bath at this place, but very doubtedly I'll use the bathtub. But it's a cool thing to have, I guess. I mean, like, you can just continuously see cell phone case seller right here on the side, just like Vietnam. Like, things look like it. The sidewalk cracking looks like it. Now you got like a bookstore here. This is all extremely reminiscent of Vietnam, minus the tuk-tuks, which is a lot like Thailand. And the same tuk-tuk scam. Someone's like, I can't believe you said that in front of the tuk-tuk driver. That guy loved me for that, dude. He's like, that's the only reason I took you in my tuk-tuk. He like runs the tuk-tuk thing there. He hasn't driven around tuk-tuk in forever. He's like, you knew immediately, like, to negotiate, and then you knew the tuk-tuk scam. I'm like, yeah, dude, been there, done that. So, no, he didn't get his feelings hurt in any kind of way. In fact, I see him all the time, man. He's been driving tuk-tuk again now at night when he gets done at the airport. I saw him yesterday. Kept wanting me to go hang out on Sunday with him and his friends. I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro. But a nice guy. I mean, these are how most tuk-tuk guys are. That is the tuk-tuk scam. Like, they take you from the airport. The whole time they're trying to sweet talk you into, like, we'll take you to the tour tomorrow. I'll take you to my buddy's bar. Well, they don't say buddy's bar, though. They'll take you to this bar, but it's usually his friend's bar. And then the friend gives him a kickback for taking you to the bar. In China, it's like a walking scam that goes even further. They'll take you to, like, a lady-style bar. You'll have one drink, and then they'll hit you with some insane bill and say they'll call the cops and all this shit. You can see there's other YouTubers that have demonstrated that scam. I think Winston has a video on it, if I remember right. But you just gotta be mindful of all that stuff, man. And don't be scared to be you know, upfront with shit. Ask questions, and if something feels sketchy, it probably is sketchy. And don't trust many people. You've got to have laser head focus, man, or you're gonna get yourself into some dicey scenarios. So I don't have a price comparison to what is in Thailand right now, but I pretty much just gave you a price breakdown of how it is in Cambodia. So and during the week, it's very much not pumping. A little bit, but not as much as like the weekend. The weekend is insane. And if you want to see live streams here, it's on my other channel, Fat and Broke IRL. The link for that's in the description of this video. So if you do want to see me live stream, that's the only place to see me live stream now. I no longer live stream off the main channel, just off that channel. But how long do we have? 15 minutes? it's just a fusion of Vietnam, Thailand, and then Cambodia on its own, you know? Lots of good food. I haven't had a bad meal yet, but I've only had 3 total meals. I guess I can consider the last one bad just because it pulled out the implant, which I didn't know was possible. Isn't that thing like screwed down into your jaw? That's why I hate doing dental work. And never, all the downtime in between of like when you get something done, going back, you get the crown, something almost always happens to me. That's why I stopped doing root canals. Because every root canal I got would end up just breaking. And I'm like, I just paid all this money for a broken tooth that needs pulled anyways. So I mean, maybe it's a simple fix. If somebody knows in the description, go for it. It'll probably already be fixed by then, because I'm not going to waste the money I spent on this thing and go back in progress. So I'm going to find a dentist tomorrow and see if it's just a quick fix. Maybe they just got to screw it in there. I don't think it screws though. It's like a step drill bit, right? So it seats in there. I don't know how it could come loose. I don't know enough about it. So. I did get a good one too. It's got like a 20-year warranty or some shit. I got a Korean one, so. The weather was a bit hotter than Vietnam today, than Saigon. It was 34 degrees all day and just like pure sun, not much breeze. It was rough being outside during the day, but I just swam my laps in the pool and kind of hung out in the pool. Interesting, all the intestines. This is like all intestines. And some cauliflower boiled, it looks like. I don't know what this dish is. I wouldn't be brave enough to eat that one. So again, we're gonna start on street food and stuff like that tomorrow. Now that I've had, this will be my 3rd day of still not being sick or anything because I've eaten regular food, so it's okay. So we'll eventually get, trying, let's say some kind of sandwich shop. $2.50 for a burger and a soda. $3.50. That's not too bad. Let me show you the full menu. Every kind of thing you can think of. Maybe we'll give this a shot one day. Doubtedly. I'm just really eating meat. So we'll see. We'll see what it's like. But all the people here are super friendly. The dogs are treated better. They all got collars on. They don't look as scraggly. People tend to leash as well. So, top dogs. Lots of older expat guys. Like there's a ton of them. Which, you see in Vietnam all over anyways. It's like being kind of half in Vung Tau. Like all the old fat Aussie guys that are really nice. Don't get me wrong. Not hating. That's the realities of Vung Tau. It's a Heart of Darkness club. I'm not really a club guy anymore. Unless I'm popping some ecstasy or some shit. In the metaverse. This is some kind of food court I see. Kind of like the one that's by Benthon. PP Pub Street. Looks like it got hit by COVID pretty hard. Just like the one did by Benthon, hence it's not even there anymore. Chicago Bull seat. There's a shawarma over here. You almost can never go wrong with a shawarma because it's usually a guy from Shawarma Land making it, just like over here with this guy. So, oh yeah, these are all bars that are close. Just empty bar after empty bar. Bro and sis, I don't know what kind of bars these were. These look like just regular pub drinking bars. Yeah, same on even sidewalks. Fried banana. So they'd have fried banana here too. Interesting. And the same little fried donuts. Obama Club. Closed. Oh no, Obama's open. You got the lights on. You can still go to Obama Club. Still here, boys. So in closing, I would say Cambodia would be a great option for you over most other things. I don't see too many other countries providing the ease of getting into in Southeast Asia and then the freedom of once being in here. You know, I've never seen somebody say put a mask on. I haven't seen any police to date maybe like 1 or 2 when we saw them on that walk. I don't know, did I already put the walk out? I think that's what goes out tonight, so you'll see that walk. I don't think I'm gonna film the museums because they're just like Vietnam's. They're like super not cool vibes, and that content does terrible. Nobody watches it, so I will go to the museums personally, but it's highly doubtable that I will indeed film them. I'd be very, very hard pressed to make content out of that because it just won't get watched. Haven't seen many massage places like you see. There's probably an area like Japantown. I'm not really looking for it, so but I'm sure it's here if that's your type of deal. I don't know where it's at. I haven't even looked to know where it's at. If I stumble across it, I'll maybe film it, but undoubtedly. The Lady Bar area, it's pretty impossible to film. You can just film walking down the street, so we'll do a short video on it just to show you where it's at. And yeah, so you can kind of see the state of that. It's a lot of not hot chicks. So, I mean, if that's your thing, you might be right up your alley. There's a lot of stuff right here, so this is one of the first streets where I really seen COVID kind of took a hit on this. This must have been a tourist heavy area we're at right now. We're walking adjacent to the riverside right now, so I'll take a right at the next one. I think 22 minutes is good. I think the point is made. I think you can make decisions on your own now, which to go to. And I'm telling you now though, Cambodia is fun. It's wide open, easy to get to. You know, they're working on their 3rd injection for everybody. Things are moving along. There's no plans of shutting anything down. It's just full steam ahead. So yeah, come check it out, guys. You will not regret it. I promise you on that. All right, guys, I hope this was informative. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments section. If there's enough questions, I'll just make another video on this topic while I'm here. Stay frosty. See you on the next one. Peace out.